Doubts have been cast over an email allegedly sent by a tennis star saying she is safe. Peng Shuai hasn't been seen in China since she accused a senior official there of sexually assaulting her. The number of daily COVID-19 cases registered in Germany has risen sharply to 65,000. The lower house of the German parliament has approved restrictions for unvaccinated people. Iraq has begun flying back home some of its citizens stuck in Belarus after they were refused entry to Poland. It comes after hundreds of migrants spent another freezing night near the Poland-Belarus border. US President Joe Biden is meeting Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador in the White House. The meeting is the first North American Leaders Summit, the Three Amigos, since 2016.
Japan is set to raise the limit on international arrivals in its latest move to ease coronavirus rules. Right now, 3,500 people a day are allowed. That'll soon expand to 5,000.
The government will consider what measures can be taken to further ease restrictions, taking into account the infection situation and vaccination rates within and outside the country.
The new rule will kick in a week from Friday. Japan relaxed entry restrictions last week for business people, students, and technical trainees. Arrivals are still subject to quarantine, and tourists remain banned. Japan had 163 new infections on Thursday. 20 were in Tokyo. The daily tally in the capital has been under 50 for more than a month. But cases are rising in some countries. Breakthrough infections among vaccinated people and drastic easing of restrictions have driven the increases. South Korea reported almost 3,300 new cases on Wednesday, a record. That resurgence comes as hundreds of thousands of students sat for college entrance exams. Infected candidates were allowed to take the exams in the hospital. Germany also reported the highest ever daily tally on Thursday, over 65,000 cases. Preparations for the Christmas market have begun in Hamburg. Only fully vaccinated people will be allowed to visit places serving food and drinks.
It's sad that we are heading toward another lockdown.
The German government is trying to increase the vaccination rate, which remains below 70%. Japan, the United States, and South Korea have renewed their commitment to work together on pressing global issues. They found common ground in trilateral talks in Washington, but a territorial dispute stopped the three from showing reporters a united front. Japan's Vice Foreign Minister Mori Takeo, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman, and South Korea's first Vice Foreign Minister Choi Jong-gon met on Wednesday. The United States looked to show solidarity in the face of regional tension, particularly with North Korea. But when the meeting wrapped, Sherman addressed the media alone.
There are some bilateral differences between Japan and the Republic of Korea that are continuing to be resolved. And one of those differences, which is unrelated to today's meeting, has led to the change in format for today's press availability.
The trilateral talks came one day after South Korea's head of police visited the Takeshima Islands. South Korea controls the islands, Japan claims them. The Japanese government maintains the islands are an inherent part of Japan's territory. It says South Korea is illegally occupying them. Japan's top government spokesperson confirmed a protest lodged over the island visit led to the cancellation of the joint news conference.
We're strongly protesting against South Korea over the latest development regarding Takeshima, which is totally unacceptable from Japan's standpoint. So we decided it was inappropriate to hold a joint news conference under such circumstances.
Matsuno added it's important for Japan, the U.S., and South Korea to maintain unity for regional peace and stability. Now, sources within South Korea's foreign ministry say Che received the protest and told his counterpart he could not accept any of Japan's claims. Moving now to Afghanistan, a UN official says the Taliban are failing to stem expansion of the Islamic State group's local affiliate, and she says that's causing security to deteriorate. Deborah Lyons is UN Special Representative and head of the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan. She voiced her concerns Wednesday at a meeting of the Security Council.
Once limited to a few provinces and Kabul, ISIL-KP now seems to be present in nearly all provinces and increasingly active.
She said 334 attacks were attributed to the group in the first 10 months of this year. That's more than 5 times the number in the whole of last year. Lyons said attacks became much more frequent after U.S. forces withdrew in August. A Chinese media outlet has released an email it says was written by tennis star Peng Shuai. Peng has not been seen in public since she made sexual abuse allegations against a former high-ranking member of the Chinese Communist Party. The head of the Women's Tennis Association and many social media users have voiced skepticism over the email. Peng has won many doubles titles, including at Wimbledon in 2013. She reportedly claimed in a social media post former Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli sexually abused her, and they later had an extramarital relationship. The Chinese state-run media outlet posted the email written to the WTA in her name on Twitter. The message, written in English, says the allegation against Zhang is untrue and Peng is safe, resting at home. WTA chairman and CEO Steve Simon released a statement in which he questioned the authenticity of the email. He said it only raises his concerns as to her safety and whereabouts. Simon said it's hard to believe Peng actually wrote the email and called for independent and verifiable proof she is safe. Taiwan is moving quickly to step up its defense capability with the help of the United States. President Tsai Ing-wen has commissioned Taiwan's first squadron of upgraded F-16 fighter jets. The ceremony took place at Chiayi Air Base in southern Taiwan. The top American representative in Taiwan, Sandra Oudkirk, attended the event. Washington does not have official diplomatic relations with Taipei. The Air Force's newly commissioned jets are among 141 F-16 fighters being converted into advanced F-16Vs by 2023 with the help of U.S. manufacturer Lockheed Martin.
This project shows not only the further development of friendship between Taiwan and the United States, but also our firm commitment to cooperative relations.
The upgraded aircraft have advanced radar capable of tracking multiple targets and are equipped with longer-range missiles. Taiwan is also planning to purchase 66 new F-16Vs under a deal approved by former President Donald Trump's administration. In other news, the Philippines has condemned the actions of Chinese vessels in the South China Sea, saying they threaten the special relationship between their countries. The Philippine Foreign Ministry says the incident on Tuesday involved 3 Chinese Coast Guard vessels blocking and using water cannon against 2 Philippine supply boats. The boats were headed for an atoll occupied by the Philippines. Officials say they were carrying food for military personnel there, but had to abort their mission. No one was hurt in the incident. The Philippine Foreign Ministry released a statement on Thursday condemning the actions of the 3 Chinese vessels in the strongest terms. It also said China has no law enforcement rights in and around these areas, and the acts of the Chinese Coast Guard are illegal. The statement noted China's failure to exercise self-restraint threatens the special relationship between the 2 countries. Tensions have been rising between the Philippines and China. In March, more than 200 Chinese fishing vessels gathered at a coral reef inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The November Grand Sumo Tournament is in full swing in Fukuoka. Our resident sumo expert, Morita Hiroshi, has the update on the 15-day tourney.
The usual suspects are competing at a high level in Fukuoka and off to an auspicious start. Terunofuji, Taka Keisho, and Mita Keimi all enter day 5 unscathed. Yokozuna Terunofuji is seeking his 2nd straight and 6th overall title. They go chest to chest. Takanosho swings Terunofuji to the edge. But the Yokozuna holds his ground. He then gets his lethal weapon, the left hand outside grip, and slams Takanosho to the clay. Terunofuji remains unbeaten. Ozeki Takakeisho is hoping to win the Emperor's Cup for the first time in a year. Taka Keisho thrusts hard and has Myogiryu on his heels. Ryozeki keeps his foot on the gas and smokes Myogiryu. Taka Keisho goes to 5-0. Sekiwake Mitakeumi is a two-time champ. They lock up. Waka Takakage has a firm left-hand grip, but Mitakeumi charges. Waka Takakage resists. He then goes deep inside of Mitakeumi and forces him out. Mitakeumi suffers his first loss. Day 5 saw another intriguing matchup between the two up-and-comers, Meisei versus Kiribayama. Sekiwake Meisei is currently the top candidate to become next Ozeki. Kiribayama is making his debut at the 4th highest rank of Komusubi. An explosive charge by the two. Kiribayama advances, but Meisei counters with a strong shove with the right hand and knocks Kiribayama to the deck. Alright, finally here are the tournament leaders after 5 days. Terunofuji, Taka Keisho, and Abi are the perfect trio, each at 5 wins and no losses. The excitement in Fukuoka continues with still 10 days to go in the tournament. Join us next week as we'll take a closer look at the championship race.
Next in weather, people across the Pacific Northwest are continuing recovery efforts from recent downpours, but another system is on its way. Our meteorologist Jonathan O has more in our World Weather Report.
Hello. The Pacific Northwest has been dealing with a lot of rainfall over the past several days. We had a break on Wednesday, but another low is now moving its way in. And so we are looking at the chance for some more wet weather from British Columbia down toward Oregon. So be on the lookout for that. And behind it, it's going to stay cold. We're looking at temperatures not even reaching 10 degrees Celsius as we go throughout the day on Friday. Here's a look at the oncoming low-pressure system. Snow possibly in the higher elevations into Washington State and also into the northern Rockies. On the flip side, cold front moving through the eastern side of the United States into eastern areas of Canada. We're looking at the possibility of some snow associated with that low pressure system that is spinning up there. Showers from D.C. into New York as we head toward Friday. Highs anywhere from 10 to 12 degrees. Chilly behind that front, only a high of 5 in Chicago as we go through the day on Friday. Speaking of some chilly weather up to the northern areas of Europe, strong winds as a low pressure system tries to make its way in. Western and central areas of Europe will have the force of high pressure to keep things relatively dry. But we are talking about some rain and thunderstorms in places like Warsaw, Kyiv, with some snow into Moscow as we go into Friday. We had a cooler day in Japan as we went through Thursday. We are looking at temperatures moderating for the eastern and western areas of Japan, but up toward the north, we're looking at another low pressure system rolling through, and that's going to bring the chance for some much colder weather as we head into the weekend. Before we go, take a look at this video. This is something interesting happening as foliage ski lessons have begun at Eta Junior School of Aichi Prefecture. This is a traditional lesson starting back in 1957. 3 courses with a length of about 30 meters. Each course covered with dried pine leaves, and the lessons continuing into mid-February. Looks like fun. Hope you have a good day wherever you are.